Yo, what's going on, everybody? GZTV, back with yet another fucking video. Man, I've been grinding my ass off today, but I'm gonna get a pretty big break after this because I'm going to go watch some TV in preparation for tomorrow. So, yeah, we have The Watcher, and I'm actually getting ready to watch the 5th episode tonight, but we have to catch up on a lot of things. We have the 4th episode of the series out of 7. I don't really want this thing to end, but given what we've already gotten, this is a really good show. I really like the true crime shows that Netflix has came out with over the last couple of months. Someone to Watch Over Me is the 4th episode. So yeah, let's just kind of get through it. Let's kind of discuss some things. Dean walks in after work at the start of The Watcher, episode 4, and Nora angrily confronts him with a pen drive in her hand. "How could you do this to me?" is followed by a clock turning back a week. So kind of like some cool foreshadowing on things to come in the series. Like Dean did something wrong apparently. And even towards the end of the episode, you realize like he subconsciously did it. Who knows if he even knew what the hell he was doing. Yeah, it's a very interesting episode. And obviously as we keep going, things just get weirder, things just get more intense. I can't wait to watch episode 5 tonight. And I can't wait for my dad's reaction. I mean, episode 3 is where this shit just starts to get crazy. I think he watched the first 2 episodes. These are really just the introductory episodes. These are just the episodes that introduce you to the story, what's going to happen. The 3rd episode's really just a tone setter, and episode 4 definitely bounces off of that and creates a very weird, very uncomfortable environment. Darren Dunn, Karen's boss, says he had no idea about the house's history before they sold it to the Brannocks. He didn't look into it. Obviously, he is just a realtor. He's not just like this community history guy that people can look at. When Dean threatens with a legal suit, Darren stands his ground and says it would be detrimental to the family itself and not his agency. Filing a lawsuit against his firm, the only party that would hurt is their group, because lawfully you don't have to tell people what happened in that house even if you knew it. They would have to do their own research. Like, that's pretty reasonable. Dean is very irrational at times. Obviously, he has every right to be upset about what's happening, but him just going out, playing the blame game, going out, pointing fingers at people, this is where it just kind of gets ridiculous for this guy. All transactions were carried out to the letter of the law, and there is no scope for snooping around. Since the LLC is involved in the selling of the house, New Jersey state law prevents him from disclosing private information. Yeah, it is private. Like, things happen there that no one should really know about. Like, it's their business what happened in that house, and no one wants to reveal that. So yeah, it's not Dean's say on whether he can know about it or not, or if the community can know it. Dean mentions Andrew Pierce, but Darren still maintains it has no bearing on the sale. He's like, yeah, I might have heard of him, but it just doesn't matter. You bought the house. Maybe if the buyers before wanted to tell you something about the house, sure, they could dissuade you all they fucking want, right? Karen tries to salvage the situation, but the Brannocks ignore her efforts. So at first, there's definitely a really friendly situation between the Brannocks and Karen, but eventually, given that she's working for this realtor that's like listing this house, she manages who sells it, she manages who buys it. Given that, now they're like, well, she's just trying to fucking instigate us. She's just trying to get us to sell this house, so we're not going to listen to her. I mean, Nora barely even gives a shit about her anymore. She just wants to hold up her social image in the community by going to lunch with her, going to the club, like kind of building up some social reps, some, you know what I mean. Dean had ordered the yearbook of Westfield High School for the year 1995 when Jasper went mute. Interesting. So they're trying to look into this whole Jasper situation. They know that he probably didn't do it, but they just want to keep looking. He finds the names of the Graph members. So yeah, these are actual people, because he continues to look online while he's at work and stuff. He's getting distracted. Obviously we know throughout the series, we knew from the beginning that their financial situation is quite scarce. So, yeah. Dean leaves the office and postpones all his work meetings to peruse the evidence more closely. So he feels this is more important, which obviously, it's kind of harsh to say, but their lives could be at risk with what the hell is happening at this house. People have been driven insane. I don't think the Watcher's been known to, kill people or do any physical harm. But he's driving this family insane. He's trying to get them psychologically to do bad things and to go insane. Dean's boss notices this, and it is justification enough for the reason Dean was not promoted to partner. She's like, oh, see? You see? Look, this is why I'm not giving you partner, because you're dedicating your life so much to things outside of work that you haven't been able to uphold your position. He wonders why Chamberlain gave him all the evidence. Like, why would he just throw that out on the table and not help us at all? Because it exposes the misdealing of the police department in the town's dirty secrets. So, like, there are things deep down in the government that they hide from us, and somehow, some way, Chamberlain thought it was a good idea to, hey, let's just give this family all the evidence that exposes our departments. Nora once again asks Dean for some sexy time, but he's unwitting to it. He's like very focused in, which, my god, Dean is such an asshole. Like, at first he seems like such an innocent family man that just wants the best for his family, wants a good living situation. He's like, yeah, I don't make that much money, but I just want the best for my family. I want a good situation here. Like this crazy big house. Like, dude, this house is fucking massive. This is one of the nicer houses. If it was in my town, it'd probably be one of, if not the nicest houses. We have a couple really big houses where I live, but still, dude, this house is nice as fuck. Like, this guy is, I don't know. And then, like, it just comes down to it, and when he's facing, like, true conflict, like, I doubt this man has ever really faced true conflict in his life. And then when it kind of comes down to it, then he just doesn't know how to handle it, and he just pushes his family to the side for his own self-gain, and he almost forgets why he's doing everything. We again see someone watching the house from the outside. Obviously, that's a very iconic, very prevalent shot in this show. Ellie sends intimate photos to Dakota, who responds with his own. Very fucked up. I mean, obviously, Dean just keeps getting exposed. We'll get to that soon, but it's still really weird to see these two have a relationship. It's very spine-tingling. It's weird. It's very creepy. It seems normal and seems natural. It seems like some teenage romance, but I don't know, dude. He once again finds Ellie and Dakota flirting and confronts them finally. He's like, look, guys, what is this? You guys are 3 years apart, right? Theodora, Dean, and Nora further discuss the case. Like, who could possibly be doing this? This is the first time he mentions Graff in front of Nora, and she is upset. Nora didn't even fucking know that there was, like, a serial killer in the house before this. She's like, why the hell can't you tell us anything? Why are you just focusing on yourself? Because when something distracts him from the family, he's not going to go back to the family. It's really fucked up. He is falling back into the pattern when they went bankrupt, but emerged somehow. So maybe he's going to have another emergence. Maybe they are trying to have hope of that, but fucking Jesus. Theodore suggests that it is an imposter who met Dean, just some random person. He is struggling with the issue and suggests they sell the house. Like, let's just sell the house. Like, this is too much of an issue for me. Nora angrily says he is backing off his own word, but Theodore calms them down. Like, look, maybe it's justifiable why he's doing this, you know? Instead, she suggests a theory that Dakota might be the Watcher, as a screen name for online gaming is the Watcher. So yeah, now it's like, oh shit, like, as an audience, you're looking like, oh shit, it could be Dakota. He has a motive since he wants to sell products for his business. He wants to watch them so he can also be a security guy. They use a hacker to intercept data from his laptop, which is fucking illegal. That's illegal. So if this goes to court, which I'm pretty sure they're in the process in the show right now of doing that, yeah, it's going to get bad. The Brannocks make up temporarily in the kitchen. As Dean says, the issue has become about his mental peace and not money. He just wants to be peaceful in life. He just wants to be safe, even though he's probably never struggled. He proposes that they search Ellie's phone and go through her chats with Dakota. They think that that's a good idea. They execute the plan in a humorous mom-dad way, but Dean is angry when he discovers the intimate photos. He's like, oh, we'll just look, nothing will be wrong, we have faith in our daughter, and then he finds these photos. Ellie is understandably outraged, and the couple grounds her in the room. She's like, why the hell are you going through my phone? It was maybe a mistake in hindsight. Dean physically attacks Dakota the next morning when he comes to install new cameras. He's like, what the hell are you doing? Instead of being reasonable and rational and, like, confronting him in a calm manner, and maybe if something triggers him, then yeah, go for it. But no, he just goes straight into, like, physically assaulting this kid. Like, seriously. It's wrong. Ellie phones the police indicting her own father, which is very fucked up. Like, she snitches on her father because he's overprotective, maybe a little bit. It is a humiliating moment for Dakota as the cop arrives, because obviously, yeah. Since she is 16 and Dakota is 19, the cops say their private business is theirs alone, and he cannot arrest Dakota like that for the letters. The kid breaks down in front of his mother, and they go to the station with the lawyer. He hires a lawyer. He's like, I'm fucking done with this shit. They're screwing me over right now. He involuntarily gives Chamberlain his DNA sample and answers any questions they would have. So this scratches Dakota off the list. Like, who the fuck did it? And later on in the episode, you get more and more suspicions on who could possibly have done it. The Brannicks are once again ungrateful in Chamberlain's eyes, and they take his leave. Have they made a new enemy with Chamberlain? What comes next will outrage you, but you have to see it by subrogating yourself into Ellie's frame of mind. Not what you think she should have done from the comfort of your vantage point. She uploads a message on social media accusing Dan of not allowing her to see an African-American man and insinuating that he is a racist. Because this kid is African-American, and because her father's so protective, she's calling him a racist. Which suburban Americans, for the most part, have racial tendencies. Like, I'm not going to write that, but it's just a weird assumption that she made, antagonizing her own father for being protective. It's really weird. Karen informs Nora, and Dean is called in by his boss about the video. They confront Ellie, who says this is what they get for interfering with her life and backing her into a corner. It is an outrageous event for the family, as it could potentially destroy Dean's career and reputation in public. They might have to move fucking states at this point. Jesus. That kind of ruined him. He could lose his job and then the house for not being able to pay back the jumbo loans. Karen's membership has also been temporarily suspended for being associated and being married to Dean. Karen says Nora must sell the house in this situation. Like, you have to get out of here, right? You're put in a corner. You have to get out of here. Now she does not have a choice. She must divorce Dean and sell the house. $1.9 million is her price. So it looks like Karen is winning in this situation. The Brannicks bought it for $3.3 million. So that is a $1.4 million downgrade. Nora outrightly denies it. Karen comes off a little too strongly, and Nora suspects she might be involved with the conspiracy. Nora and Dean's boss get envelopes that say, "Watch me." So, man, they're looking really bad. It is a shocking video of Dean lying in bed as a teenage girl on pigtails comes to her bed and lays with her naked. Comes to his bed and lays with him naked. Oh my god. It gets worse and worse for Dean. It is from Dean's bedroom. Dakota admits he did this. He edited this to just continually destroy Dean. But seeing Dean's reaction to the girl, he rethinks his actions. He's like, "Oh man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do this. Like, I didn't know you'd react like this. I don't want you to, like, really just be ruined, but just know that I'm trying to get back for you for interfering with our relationship." Dean also apologized to Dakota for outing him on the spot. It seems kind of mutual that these two can go their separate ways. Dean is also accused of writing the letters himself for trying to salvage the mistake of buying the house. Which, that's interesting, because, again, you as an audience, you're watching this, you're like, holy shit, this is very possible, right? So, it is. It really is possible. That is what Nora was upset about in the beginning. She asked Dean to move out of the house and move into a motel so she can get the house, even though he's making the most money. He tries to show her even that the dress is the same as Pat graphs from the evidence as someone is sabotaging them. Because that's not a coincidence. She is filing for divorce, and they're selling the house. Dean finds a familiar face in an advert on television. Andrew Pierce. Like, what the hell is going on? Was Dean actually being set up? Was Andrew hired by the Watcher? Dean sits in his car outside the house to keep guard. Like, things just keep piling on each other. This is fucking wild. He spots Pearl looking at him through her house, and then the light switches off very creepily. Pearl, the actress, I don't remember what her name was, but she is a horror icon. So, yeah, there's that. And then, to his surprise, he sees a cab pulling into Mo and Mitch's house. It is the couple in the flesh. Mo even smiles at him through the window. What is going on? What is happening? Like, this couple didn't actually die. He's just being framed for things. Episode 4 thus far has been the best in giving us substantial head scratchers, very confusing. There's no way any of us saw so much of that coming. Ellie's social media appeal, Dakota's revenge, and Moa Mitch not dead were the highlights. I missed, Andrew Pierce being a probable setup for the Brannicks. Do we really have a John Graff? Is Theodora too a part of the setup? Is Karen among the same crowd? This episode has certainly made the Watcher's mystery at the zenith of complexity. It does not get any more difficult than this to figure out who is behind all this. The ambiguity and uncertainty propels a psychological element in the story that will keep eating away at you unless you finish watching the series. So yeah, obviously it's pretty addicting. You want to watch more and more of it. But as of now, I am done. Got to rewatch some things with my dad, and I can't wait to see the reaction on his face as we're watching this. It's going to be very interesting. Such a good show, dude. Great show.